talk a little bit about a different threat, and this is the threat to the citizens. And first of all, thank you to our congressional leaders, staffers, to TechAmerica, and also to each of you who are here, because individually and collectively you can all make a difference. So thanks for caring enough to hear more about this very important issue. I'm a bird hunter, and so I'm going to start with a little hunting story. I'm from Missouri. So anyway, there was a group of guys, usually they're guys, going out hunting, and they were going to a place where they were going to land on a lake in a pontoon, coast over to an island, had all their gear, and so they get over to the island, they take their gear out, they get out, they're left for a period of time, for days. They got some nice big bear and got everything dragged back and waited, and the pilot came to pick them up. The pilot came, he said, "I'm sorry, but y'all have just way too much stuff, and with all that game, we're not going to be able to get you back on the plane and get you out of here." And they said, "Well, you know, last year," that's what they said, "but, you know, we loaded it all on the plane." And they said, the guy said, all right. So he straps everything on the pontoons, loads the people into the plane, and this pontoon plane begins to take off, and it barely skimming the trees, and it gets just so far and it crashes into the ground, and people, gear, animals, they're everywhere. One guy wakes up and he says, Bob? The other guy says, "Yeah, Dave." He goes, "Where are you, Bob?" And he goes, "I'm a little farther than last year." I think there's a great analogy to where we are in protecting citizens and cybersecurity. We're making progress, but the plane's getting heavier. Ours a little bit farther than we were last year. I think the real threat here to the citizen is that we're on information overload. So now we're doing everything via the internet, smartphones, banking, e-commerce. There's so much information, the security problems are complex, and then we have to deal with complacency. So I see those as being, in particular, the threats that we're going to face out there. But why is it important to you and to me as a nation? It's because our individual citizens are targeted, as Michelle said. Your computer could be used as a zombie. We've all heard that scenario. And so unwittingly, you might be contributing to a cyber attack on other critical infrastructures. Secondly, though, is just we're going to lose a lack of confidence in e-commerce in general, and people are going to be just maybe fed up and just say, well, I'm not going to use my computer to do e-commerce anymore. That would have a tremendous impact. That's a tremendous threat to our economic future and also to our ability to do global commerce. So what are some of the things that we can do about it? I think one thing that we need to look at is we need to stop the noise. We need to make it easier for citizens to be able to control their own internet world. So right now it is vast, the internet's global and ubiquitous. How do we make that attack vector, that attack space smaller for an individual, because they might not need to be open to the entire world all the time. So I think that's an area of research, an area where we can not only have increased awareness training for our citizens, and maybe even a little more technical training, which I think will come with time because our younger generations grow up with all this. So maybe getting more training into the schools and awareness will prepare people to be better cyber citizens into the future. The other place that we're extremely vulnerable as citizens is through the social networking, Facebook, which has also been mentioned earlier. This is a tremendous problem. I just heard a presentation by General Alexander over Cyber Command, and he mentioned that as being, in his opinion, one of the #1 threats. He said it's a gigantic threat now that we are so connected, so open, and so vulnerable through things like Facebook. Another area that we're going to need a lot of, I think, research and development into that. I think we should have more STEM enhancements, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics support, so that we can address these kinds of problems. This is only the beginning of this internet interconnectedness, it's communication, and we can't continue to be playing catch-up with security. So, more intuitive and secure user authentication for individuals, as Michelle also mentioned earlier. There's some great work being done in that area. I think we need to support that. We need to support more awareness. There is the Stop, Think, and Connect program. If you're not aware of that, it's part of the things that we're supporting with TechAmerica. So there's the Stay Safe organization, staysafeonline.org, and you can learn more about that program. And also maybe we can develop a better citizen alert system, because we just kind of hear about it in bits and pieces, but maybe there's a way that just like we have, I grew up in the era when we had those sirens put in because we might be under a nuclear attack, born in that generation. It seems to me we need a better alert system for citizens as well. So I know this affects each one of us. So I appreciate your time, and we'll take your questions. Thank you.